Hello guys. I recently viewed my analytics and found that people are watching my video, but not subscribing my channel. Please subscribe my channel so that I can feed my cat.
The events take place in the year 1974. A certain woman is melting wax in a pot to finish a wax mask. Her young son, whose face we cannot see, is eating a dry breakfast. The woman's husband comes into the kitchen, carrying her second son, who is screaming and kicking. In this turmoil, the wax mask breaks. The boy is chained to a child's chair because he cannot be handled any other way. The action then unfolds in the present day. Carly is sitting in a coffee shop with her friend Paige. She is looking for a rental apartment so she can move to New York and go to college. Carly's boyfriend, Wade, joins the girls. They all plan to go to New York for an important championship, but Wade doesn't like the fact that his girlfriend's criminal brother is going with them. Paige decided to leave the lovers behind and went to her boyfriend Blake's car. Soon Nick, Carly's brother, and his friend Dalton join the couple. Dalton captures absolutely everything on camera. Friends went to another city in 2 cars. Because of an accident on the road, they had to swerve. On the way, they saw an old billboard for Trudy's House of Wax. The company stops for an overnight stay. Paige tells Carly that she's pregnant, but she doesn't want to tell Blake about it now, because he's been waiting so long for this championship. Everyone is having fun. Nick and Wade don't really get along with each other. Carly interferes in their altercation and gets into an argument with her brother. Nick is mad at her for not covering for him with the police after stealing a car. The guys sensed a terrible stench coming from the woods, but decided to ignore it. At some point a truck drove up to them. No one got out of the cab for a long time, which really scared the young men. Nick threw a bottle at the car and broke the headlight, after which the intruder drove away. At night someone was walking around the tents, filming everything on camera. Anxiety caused Carly to wake up. Without waking Wade, she went outside to check. All the while, the unknown man continued to follow her surreptitiously. Soon the awake Wade took his girlfriend back to the tent. In the morning, the friends prepared to continue their journey. They again smelled the creepy smell brought by the wind. Wade found his car broken down, and Carly and Paige found a huge number of animal carcasses. Carly nearly fell through and saw a human hand among the animals. A truck pulled up to them, and a strange guy named Lester got out, a guy who brings in animals that have been run over on the road. He was pointed at a human hand, which turned out to be a mannequin. The championship was a couple of hours away. Wade didn't want to leave his car, so Lester offered to drive him to the nearest small town where he could buy parts. Carly decides to go with her boyfriend, while the others head to New York. Lester gives the impression of a very strange man with mental problems. Carly and Wade feel very uncomfortable. He brought them to some town near the highway, Ambrose. It was impossible to go any farther, and the couple were concerned about Lester's suspicious behavior. They insistently asked to be let out of the car. They continued on foot, while their friends stood in a huge traffic jam, debating whether they should turn back. There didn't seem to be a soul in the small town. Carly received a call from Paige, who informed her that they were on their way. Carly explained how to find the way. Finding no one at the gas station, the couple walked into the church where the funeral was being held. Soon a man came out on the porch to them, who was very unhappy about such an unceremonious intrusion. But then he apologized for his rude behavior, saying that someone dear to him had passed away today. The man, whose name is Bo, works at a gas station. He promised that he would be at his workplace in half an hour. In the next scene we see a certain man making figures out of wax. To pass the time, the couple went into Trudy's House of Wax, even though there was a sign on the door that said it was closed. The house itself was also made of wax. The young people were amazed at the realism of the figures. Their author is a certain Vincent. In the mirrored reflection, Carly saw some man and was frightened. Wade went out to check, but found no stranger. Carly felt uncomfortable in the place and wanted to leave. Nick and Dalton decided to go after their friends, while Paige and Blake were left to wait in the car. Wade and Carly were at the gas station for a while. It began to get dark. Soon Bo arrived, but the right part to replace the broken one wasn't available, so Bo offered to go to his house, because he had the right size belt. The town was suspiciously empty. Bo told them about Trudy's House of Wax. Vincent, the author of most of the work, is Trudy's son and the continuator of her work. Trudy had once given birth to 2 sons. Her husband was a gifted surgeon who had been disbarred because of questionable human surgeries. A brain cyst caused Trudy to go insane. Her husband couldn't stand it and voluntarily passed away, and her sons ended up in an orphanage. Bo put Carly in his car, promising to drive them to the highway later. Wade went with him, as he needed to use the restroom. As Nick and Dalton talk, we realize that Nick didn't actually steal any car, but decided to cover for Dalton. They don't understand why the town they're going to is not on the map. Wade finds animal embryos, wax masks, and all kinds of surgical devices in Bo's house. Outside, Carly recognizes the same truck with the broken headlight and starts honking at Wade. At that moment, the lights went out in the house, and someone locked the doors. While Wade was knocking and calling for help, A man wearing a wax mask sneaked into the room from the basement unnoticed. He hurt Wade's tendon and stunned him. Carly tried to call the friends, couldn't, so she just left a voicemail. When Bo came out, she locked herself in the car. However, Bo broke the window, so Carly pressed on the gas. She managed to throw him off, but the car got stuck and flipped over, so she had to run. Meanwhile, Dalton asks Nick if he has any chance of winning Carly's attention. Nick is sure there is no chance. The man in the wax mask turned out to be Trudy's son, Vincent. He dragged Wade into the basement, stripped him of his clothes, injected him with some medicine, and stitched up his wounds. Wade was completely immobilized. Vincent used wax to remove the hair from his face. Carly ran along the road, and at one point the lights in the city suddenly lit up, creating the illusion of civilization. What she didn't know was that Vincent had secured Wade to some special structure and doused him in molten wax. When Carly ran into the church to call for help, she realized there was no one alive there, only wax figures. But as soon as she touched one of the figures, an arm fell off and real flesh was inside. In the coffin lay Trudy. Bo went into the church, and Carly quickly hid. She realized that Bo was Trudy's son. Soon he found Carly hiding under the priest's cassock and grabbed her in the street. Because of the bad road, Nick and Dalton decided to continue on foot. Bo dragged Carly into the basement of the gas station and secured her in a surgical chair. Pretty soon Nick and Dalton paid a visit. Waiting for no one, they went on their search. To keep Carly quiet, Bo taped superglue over her mouth. Nick returned to the gas station. Bo went out to him. Carly almost managed to get out and started to stick her finger through the hatch to get attention. Bo, who claimed to Nick that he hadn't seen his sister and her boyfriend, discreetly cut off the girl's finger with pliers. Carly still managed to unclench her mouth and screamed. Nick rushed over to her. Locking all possible entrances to the gas station building, he found his sister. Dalton paid a visit to the house of wax figures, where he discovered Wade as a figure. As soon as he touched the still-cured skin, it began to peel off. Vincent came for Dalton. He took him down the stairs and took his life. Carly and Nick heard Bo drive away. Dalton had the keys to their car, and the cell phone was left in the truck next to Bo's house. Carly told her brother that everything here was made of wax, that once living people were drenched in wax too. Nick didn't believe her at first, but then he saw for himself. Meanwhile, Blake saw the voicemail from Carly and was horrified. Vincent snuck into Paige's tent, but she managed to escape. On the street she saw Blake, who couldn't be helped any longer. The girl hid and grabbed a metal pipe for self-defense, but Vincent caught up with her. She briefly managed to hide in the car, but Vincent still found her and took her life, filming it with a camera stolen from Dalton. Nick and Carly found a gun store and took a crossbow. Bo started firing shots at them, and the young people hid in the movie theater, pretending to be one of spectators. Bo managed to track down Carly, but Nick managed to disarm him in time by firing 2 crossbow shots. The young people went to the truck to get their cell phone, but they didn't find anything. Then they decided to look around the house, hoping to find Wade. As they searched, they came across an old newspaper clipping that said a local couple had given birth to Siamese twins. They were successfully separated. Even then, in baby pictures, Vincent's face was hidden by a wax mask. A badly wounded but surviving Bo showed up at the house. The young people lay low. Nick found the entrance to the basement. Vincent arrived, and Bo started yelling at him for leaving the house without his permission. Soon, however, Bo changed his tone. He assured his brother that they had almost finished the job their mother had started and that she would be very proud of Vincent. When Bo saw their baby picture on the floor, he realized they were not alone. Hiding in the basement, the young people discovered that all of the city's power supply could be controlled from here. Noticing the lights flashing outside the window, Bo knew where to look for the victims. Carly and Nick found Dalton in the basement. Beneath the waxing shell, he was no longer alive. Vincent came after them, and a struggle ensued, during which a fire broke out. They fled through the subterranean corridors and into the house of wax, where they found Wade covered in wax. Here Bo was already waiting for them, and a fight ensued again. The fire made the wax floor and the figures begin to melt. Bo wounded Nick badly in the shoulder, but Carly came to the rescue, taking Bo's life. Vincent, who returned, mourned for his brother, and a wounded Nick told Carly to leave. The girl shouted to Vincent, who had caught up with her, that she had seen the scars on Bo's arms and their baby chairs, one of which was fitted with leather straps. Bo is the monster, not him. Those words didn't do much, however. Nick, who arrived just in time, tore the mask off Vincent. To save her brother, Carly inflicted a life-threatening injury on Vincent. The wax floor collapsed, but the young people managed to get out relatively safely. The molten wax absorbed Vincent, and the entire building melted. In the next scene we see the police cordoning off the scene. The young people were safe. The stunned sheriff explains that this town was deserted 10 years ago. Apparently the Sinclair brothers had kidnapped a huge number of people from the highway. A large forensic team is in town, as more than 100 bodies lurk beneath the wax. Soon the sheriff was told over the radio that the Sinclairs had not 2 sons, but 3, and the third child turned out to be Lester, but no one knows that.